The mind is rational, whereas the heart is reckless. The mind is logical, whereas the heart is lusty. The mind locks you in comfort and safety, whereas the heart, it casts you away into the unknown. And maybe that's why the mind is more like a car, whereas the heart behaves more like a motorcycle. I've heard a lot of bikers brag about freedom. Of course, I've bragged about it a lot as well. But then there was a time where I used to think, what is the connection between riding a vehicle and freedom? The answer actually came from an unassuming person, my daughter. She was 8 back then, and it was the first time when she was behind me, I cranked up the throttle and opened the dominor up. It was the first time we crossed a 3-digit figure, and since then she's always been telling she finds a bike a lot more fun than riding in a car. And when I asked her why she feels so, she gave me one simple answer. She said, "Dad, I can feel everything." And when I was riding after that, I understood what she meant. The thing is, in a car you're contained, but on a motorcycle you actually feel the contact of your tires rubber with the road, and you get directly connected to the road, and the road is obviously connected to the landscape. So you feel that you're in the place and not contained in the place, and not to mention you feel the headwinds, the very winds that you're tearing apart to go forward. And last but not the least, you have an uninterrupted 180-degree view of what's around you, and I think that is reason strong enough why we can brag about freedom. I'm 44 now, and I come from a timeline where in India, riding a motorcycle outside commute was considered insanity. A bike was not meant to do anything beyond taking you from point A to point B. But then I was fortunate enough to have a neighbor, Selva, who happened to be a biker. He kept talking about motorcycles, not knowing he planted a seed that would grow into a huge tree inside me. He had 2 bikes. One was an RX 100, and the other one, it was an RD 350 high torque. In the late 90s, there was talk about this particular road that was way above any other road in the world, and Selva kept talking about his dream of taking his RD 350 onto the top of Kardungla. None of us who dreamed about it knew what it would be like. It's been almost 35 years since then, and it's been 15 years since I made my first trip to Kardungla. Practically, I've lost count of how many times I've been there, and I'm not sure if he made it there even once, because I haven't seen him in 25 years. But then the seed that took me to Kardungla was called Selva, and between Selva and Kardungla, there was this one particular kid.
Marquez is up the inside of Rossi. Oh, Rossi just holds firm. Rossi's through the grab.
Gibernau and Rossi head to head, side by side.
Oh.
He changed the way the world saw motorcycles and people who can ride. Me, for that matter, I would have been in my late teens or probably in my 20s. And what he could do with the bikes, if it was so beautiful just watching, what would it be to do it yourself? So the way I see both Selva and Valentino Rossi, we're a part of the brotherhood, passing on their dream and legacy to another person. It's more like we are all a link in the chain that connects the crankshaft to the sprocket. We are part of this one unit that delivers power from one place to another. What Silva and Valentino Rossi did to me, I think I'm doing the same to you through this video. And 15 years in the mountains and elsewhere, I haven't seen one biker cross you when you're stagnant without asking what's wrong and offering help. And bikers, if you've been to Ladakh or Spiti or anywhere in the Trans-Himalayas, if a biker or a group of bikers cross, there's always this wishing you. And even though you are going in opposite directions, it means that you're part of the same tribe. I'm not going to pretend like I love bikes, but I'm not into speed. One of the core components of getting into a motorcycle is speed, and that's undeniable. See, the top speed is one thing, but how you get there is totally another thing. Let's say my Dominar is capable of doing a top speed of about somewhere close to 170 kilometers per hour. Then once I open up the throttle and shift through gears where the RPM is redlined, what I get out of it is something beyond statistics. And a motorcycle gives that sort of a speed that is affordable. What is the fastest car you can buy in less than 20 lakhs? Like a Skoda Slavia or perhaps a Volkswagen? What is it capable of? Like doing a 0 to 100 in 9 seconds? In less than 20 lakhs, you can buy a Hayabusa, which can smoke a Ferrari and gets you from 0 to 100 in less than 3 seconds. Unless and until you have a very rich dad crawling your way up, and earning to get a supercar is going to take decades. A decent job can perhaps get you a Hayabusa. In the name of being smart and being able to survive in our corporate jobs, most of us have lost this one beautiful human emotion called trust. Trust is something that's becoming a rare commodity. All this on one side, but on the other hand, have you ever thought, how many times have you gone hot into a corner with the thought, what if your brakes fail? What if your chain comes up? Never. Right. Me, for one, personally, I don't change my motorcycles often. In almost over 25 years of living with motorcycles, I've changed it only 4 times, because it's nothing different from a relationship. You buy a motorcycle, it takes a year to understand it. By the time you can say that you know your bike very well, it's already 2 to 3 years, and what's the point in getting a new one all over again? And then you enter into this beautiful period of Symphony. The way you think, it appears as if the motorcycle understands it, and that sort of trust, at least for me, it has made me trust humans more than what I would if I did not have a motorcycle in the first place. If you're already a biker, if you look back into your journey with a motorcycle, you would understand that our lives are never stagnant. We evolve, we keep changing with time. Most of us would have started with what we call triple T, typical teen trait. Yeah, a motorcycle is perhaps considered an easy way of getting a girlfriend in the first place. And I know a lot of us started there. From there we upgrade to becoming speed demons, and a motorcycle gets you one step closer to becoming a wanderlust. And once you live enough with the motorcycle, all that matters is the journey, and everything else fades off as a distant memory. And a motorcycle has kept me happy for about 25 years or maybe even more. So whatever bike you might have and whatever power it might throw out, it doesn't matter. You don't even have to ride it real hard on a Sunday morning or eat miles for breakfast. Just fire it up and open the throttle. It brings a smile in your face, and that's why we ride.